Thomas is our old manager, and he is not a D&D person. He is a sort of a lax bro, and he finds the idea of us playing Dungeons and Dragons just endlessly entertaining, especially whenever anything bad happens to Morgan. And apparently they are hanging out tonight while Morgan plays D&D. Apparently Thomas was very excited for this.
Can you hear us now?
I hope you enjoy the game, Thomas.
Can you hear us now?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yes!
Oh my god.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, you know it.
Wow.
We're all here. We're all here and we're waiting for this. Come on. Give us a show.
Is that Jacob?
Oh, Fred!
Yo,
Oh, yes, it is.
What's up, Jacob?
how many times
Hey,
did
what's up,
Gimbal
guys?
ask? Because this is totally the giant
God.
taking over in that fugue state right now.
How good. This is amazing. Hi, guys.
Really
I
good
don't understand what any of you guys are saying, but it's awesome.
Oh, you have no idea.
So
Okay.
Jacob would make a really good harshnag.
Hey, I'm all up here for it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Mikhail, are we recording? I just need to make sure that this great energy is being captured for posterity.
It sure is. We're good to go.
Of course. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Jesus!
Alright.
Here's a big thing.
And Randy is online.
I am. Sorry, I'm a little late.
You're fine. No, we're just starting.
Good.
For the recording and also for Randy, Morgan is playing with some old coworker friends of mine, current coworkers of him and Zai, and they are in the house with him.
Morgan has fucking Fred. Morgan has sunglasses on.
It sounds like someone has control of Morgan's push to talk.
Okay. So that is if you hear any interjections, that is the reason why.
Understood.
Players. So
Zai, Thomas is in the room, and so is Mike, and so is Jacob.
Cool. I won't talk about my bomb making.
Okay.
Go for it. Man.
Last game ended on, I would say, a pretty chill note. I think we're all doing really good right now, and everyone is just happy and healthy and excited to move forward with the future. Does that about sum it up?
We all have all our limbs at least.
We all definitely have all of our limbs, for sure. Definitely nobody lost any arms last game.
Somebody made Sahbeik do stuff. You know, like people telling him to do stuff.
That's true. So, we have kind of out of game decided where we want things to go, but I want to just real quick run through in game the order of operations, because some of you want to go to Neverwinter University to get Harshnag fixed up. Loving it. We're definitely going to make that happen. And then some of you are going to end up in the town of Nesme, which is where Sahbeik has been instructed to go, and it is very close to the mountain that you learned last game that the fire giant lair is in, which you guys need to get to. So I think a good place to start is all right, here's what I'm thinking, and I will, out of character, let you guys decide how this happens. Either Wex and Hogard leave immediately to go to Neverwinter University to try to get a replacement arm for Harshnag, or you guys wait around until a good opportunity for the party to split up, and then go over there while the rest try to find a a way to progress the plot forward. Which do you guys think works better?
I'm thinking the latter because
Okay.
otherwise we go back and forth between the two parties. So maybe we should work together for a while until we find a good break.
Okay, then.
Well, I was thinking after the experience at the Temple of the Allfather, Sahbeik probably would have just started to walk off brusquely without really consulting the party because he got told what to do. So he wants to figure out how to control it at this point.
Okay, so is he?
Venitus was asleep on the ship.
Fantastic. So very important. Oh. We'll circle back to that because I love the idea of Venitus waking up and finding out his buddy's missing an arm. Sahbeik. So does that mean that you are going to because you're currently like several weeks journey away from Nesme. Do you think Sahbeik just straight up walks there right away, or do you think Sahbeik is going to
well, in the interest of serving the story so that it makes sense that Lunara and who else? I think Venitus?
Several others.
To make sense for others following, I think that we would have gone back to the ship and then back to the flying castle while Harshnag was getting fixed up. And over the time that we spent there, we probably would have discussed what was next during like dinners or like just gatherings while we were eating or whatever. And I would have mentioned, or Sahbeik would have mentioned, going there immediately enough times and in like a gruff enough way that others would be like, okay, he's probably going to leave.
I like this. I like the idea that Sahbeik doesn't want to attempt taking on an entire like fire giant stronghold while he's not in control of his powers. And so Sahbeik sees it as like a prerequisite to doing that is him getting shit figured out at Nesme.
Sahbeik doesn't like weakness and he feels weak.
Okay. What's up?
Which arm is Harshnag missing?
His right arm.
Good to know.
Yep.
You'll see.
Oh, that's the most ominous.
Now,
okay.
Do we remember or know if he's right-handed or?
He is right-handed. Specifically, the dragon specifically bit off the arm that he was holding his axe with.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I hope you guys don't mind. I'm gonna kind of brush over what happens next.
Okay.
Let me know whenever Harshnag gets back.
Okay, here's what I need. I want a volunteer to go scout out the fire giant. And we can say this is Zephyros saying this. I want a volunteer to go scout out the fire giant stronghold, while the rest of you guys go. Most of you guys go a little bit to the south to the city of Nesme. Who's doing that?
I can go scout.
I was gonna say I feel like Venitus could scout pretty well.
And Venitus can scout pretty fast.
Elf, so in the trees and in the sky. I mean, I think that's a pretty good combo.
Okay.
So real quick, when Harshnag gets back, Venitus is instantly gonna run up, like fly towards him and be like, yo, high five, and raise his right arm because he's not aware of what's going on and he's been lonely.
Oh no.
That's terrible.
Harshnag is not in a good place right now, and I think he kind of looks at you and then like looks away and doesn't react.
Like, yo, didn't I show you how to do a high five? Remember, you actually smacked me into the window. Come on.
I think he's going to pensively shoulder check you.
Oh shit!
With his nub.
Bird's vision isn't that good.
I want to be clear.
What happened?
He doesn't have like a stump of an arm left. We specifically said his arm was bitten off at the shoulder. Full blown Full Metal Alchemist. There's nothing.
Morgan is cutting off his arm as well.
Say that again. Say it
What was
again.
that?
Yes.
Morgan is cutting off his arms as well.
Yes. All arms are cut off.
And so
Okay.
No, in actuality, I would really like to go with Venitus, but these fucking guys.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I think Gimbal will stick with Sahbeik just for expedience purposes. And then
Okay,
Venitus
that's
Venitus and Lunara will go scout out the thing. So and while they are doing that, Wex and Hogard are going to just get a head start going to the university and trying to fix the thing. So we'll circle back to the university team in a second. What I want to do first is let's see. The airship kind of complicates things narratively. I think okay, so Nesme is in the middle of a big forest, and it's hard to find a clear landing site near it. So you have to land, a couple miles to the south, and then walk up to it. So while you guys are flying down there and then starting your walk up, Venitus and Lunara have time to finish scouting the thing, and they can easily find.
On our way there, Venitus is totally gonna be like, "Yo, Lunara, what happened to Harshnag's arm? And why is Sahbeik in such a bad mood?"
And then
It's a really long story.
propellers spin, exposition happens. So
He tried to do what?
his mother?
Oh my god.
That was his mom.
What the hell are you guys talking about over there?
Nothing.
Okay.
Sahbeik, you
Goddamn
motherfucker.
business.
Okay.
Chicken wing.
Okay. So, you guys are pretty quickly able to identify where the fire thing, the fire stronghold place is. It's basically like a big glowing volcano mouth in the side of this one mountain where the map had been marked off. As you approach it, you see that there is not really like a physical wall of fire, but
Hold on. Brent, is there a map for this?
no, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Taking a step back and parting the kimono, as it were, this is next level, and I don't have the map ready for it.
All right. Fair enough.
We will have the map when we get there.
Por favor.
So, what you find is that the fire giant stronghold is in classic Zelda game tradition. It's too hot to enter right now. You will need to find some way to navigate it. It is, I think, about like 200 degrees inside of the stronghold, and it's just right now. There's just no feasible way that you guys could go in there and go on an adventure. It's not a matter of like finding a different entrance. It's just you'll have to find a way to survive those heats. So that is something to have in the back of your mind, and
Question.
maybe circle back to. What's up?
How would how would a fire resistance work with Sahbeik if I drank High Dragon's blood and randomly got Fire Dragon?
That would work. You would have to drink High Dragon's blood enough times for you to get Fire Dragon, and then you would have to do everything you need to do in there in the 1 minute you have.
Okay, so I'd have to be the Flash. Gotcha.
And I mean, I don't know how many you have left, but you have 6 or more kinds of dragon in rotation. So let's say there's a 1 in 6 chance of you getting it. You might burn through all of your things.
Yeah,
just
I've only got
trying
3
to-
left.
Yeah. So, it's a good idea, something to consider. Maybe once you have control of your dragon, maybe that will solve the problem.
Yeah.
But so that is essentially like you guys are stumped on that for now, and you'll have to look for a way to get around that problem. And since you need to take some time off and think about it anyway, might as well check out Nesme. And so that is going to.
I think during that exploration, Sahbeik would stand closer to that fire cave entrance than anyone else, and probably singe off part of himself. Just a little masochistic.
Yeah.
Just to show.
Yeah. I don't feel good, so I'm gonna hurt myself. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Flex at the temple.
That's very Venitus of him. It's very Sahbeik of him. Okay.
I was like, wait a second.
Sorry. So we're going to go ahead and say that the
Weak
whole
flex. I'll burn
party
myself.
is the whole Nesme party goes down and scouts that, and then the whole party goes together down to the city of Nesme. That's easier narratively. All right. So with that, we're now at the splitting point. One group is going to Nesme. One group is going to the university. Which do we want to do first?
Well, I'd just like to make a comment before we do go. Hogard wants to take some measurements of his arm, his length, his girth, and stuff like that, so that he's and maybe get a little blood type and he's trying to prepare everything that they may ask him about at the university.
The Giants actually have their own flying castle, so they can fly down to the university. Either you can fly there in your airship and get there, a few days ahead of them because your airship is faster, or you can leave your airship for the Nesme group to have available as a resource, and you can tag along on their flying castle. What do you want to do?
Oh, the latter sounds
okay.
Like it's smarter.
Sound good, Wex?
Yeah, that way we can have Harshnag with us, and he doesn't have to leave the quarters.
Wex, do you have a pirate captain hat I could borrow?
I mean, I have several coming to my quarters.
Let me get one.
Okay.
I would like to give him one of the 4 pirate hats I have.
Okay, great.
We come out of his quarters and I just kick open the door saying, "Hey, your new captain is here."
Okay. Real quick.
By the gods.
I was gonna ask if we want to do a pregame question, but I think we're just in go for it mode.
Hey guys, real quick.
Listening.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the company. I'm going to try to do my best to avoid not pushing to talk when they are down here.
Okay. No
Carry
worries.
on.
No worries, man.
Gimbal is attentive.
It's all good.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So, which group do we want to go with first? Did you guys say?
I'd actually be cool doing our group first, just because I feel like we can kind of get the ball rolling real fast.
Yeah, and you guys can start things. Get things moving, and then we'll circle back to you later. So I'm switching players over to the Neverwinter University map. And I will go ahead and
Aren't the alchemists over by T6 and T7?
We're gonna circle back to that in a second. First, you guys need to get to Neverwinter University. The Giants can't fly their castle directly over the city because Giants are sort of kind of at war with the city right now. Like it's not good public relations, and they don't want to. That's also the reason that they, other than the logistical issues of a giant walking through town, they cannot go to the university with you because giants are kind of like a public enemy right now. So they're going to
anti-giant racism going on there.
Yeah, the giants have destroyed a lot of human cities lately, so
not a justification.
Maybe justified. So the they are planning on just having the floating castle kind of float a little bit above the clouds. If you'll remember, the floating castle has a like sort of cloud pillow that it floats on top of, so it looks pretty. It's pretty well disguised from below. So they're just gonna fly around up there and be available via Rocky Talkie whenever you need them. I think they drop you off in the countryside near the city of Neverwinter. And from there, you guys have to walk to get to the university. That's pretty straightforward. You guys have been through the city once before. And so you get into the city. You're approaching from the south. To the west is the coast, and then Neverwinter University is pretty near the center of town. As you guys are walking north to get to the university, you see there's kind of a commotion going on towards the shore to the west. There's some like smoke in the air, and you see a lot of people running that direction. Do you want to investigate?
Hogard suggests, maybe we should go investigate that and see what's going on. I think he thinks we should.
I immediately lean to that has nothing to do with us, but no, we should go check out the smoke.
Okay. As you are as you're walking, you hear people in the crowd kind of just like, as these things happen, they're like passing along the gossip of like what's going on, and they're talking about like, oh, I heard the Kraken struck again, and somebody else is saying like, no, it's not a Kraken, it's that new pirate crew, and that's all you get from just word of mouth as people gossiping around you as you walk down. Do you want to do anything? Just keep going.
Hogard addresses Wex and says, "What do you think? Is this something we care about, or should we
I can't
continue
even,
with our mission?"
I can't even hear him at this point. I'm gonna walk up to one of the people who was just talking about the Kraken, and I'm gonna pick them up, and I'm just gonna scream at them, "Where is he?"
Fuck. How would this? Okay. Okay,
Direct.
you do this, and the guy goes, "Oh God, I'm sorry, just take my money," and he throws his purse at you and tries to squirm out of your arms. Just don't kill me. I didn't do anything. What do you do?
I'm not actually here for your money. I just need information.
Today.
Yes, today. I mean, I'm gonna pick up the wallet. Like that's just on GP.
You know damn well
That's
he's
a
picking that
gift.
money up too.
That's a
Yeah.
gift.
I think it has like 30 coins, 30
Okay.
gold coins in it.
That's good.
So he's going to say, look, I don't know what's going on. There's been another attack on one of these boats, and like rumor has it that it's it is the same thing. By appearance, it seems to be the same thing that attacked the past couple boats, but we don't have a consensus on whether it was like a giant sea monster or like a pirate crew. That's as much as I know, man. I just know the word of mouth.
Where's your port?
To the west? That way, where the smoke is?
I just drop them immediately. While I'm walking by, I'm gonna scoop up the wallet, take the coins out, throw the wallet back on the ground, and just keep going towards the coast.
Nice.
He's gonna say, "Thanks, my ID was in there." It is not a wallet. It's a coin purse. His ID
That's
is
better.
His ID is basically just like a coaster with his face on it. Okay, you guys walk down to the coast, and you are going to see the crowds get thicker as you approach, but there is a boat pulling into harbor that's just trying to starting to lash in. That it frankly is Wex, in your world, there's no possible way this boat could have returned to land. This boat is basically like ripped in half and like lashed together, and it looks like they have on their crew, they have like a water mage or something who is just, he looks exhausted. He's doing just like a perpetual water bending kind of spell, just constantly siphoning out the water that's filling into the boat. And you don't know how long he's been doing this, but also like the mast is burned and broken, and that's probably where the smoke is coming from, and this ship is just a mess.
Can we see like any of the crew, or is he the only person that we see kind of visible?
No. You see several crew members, and in fact, I think that they are trying to. Some of them are trying to get the boat pulled into dock, but a lot of them are just trying to get escape rafts and stuff set up so that they can get the majority of the crew onto shore, so that the mage can finally take a rest and just let the boat sink. Now that once they all get off. But you're several. I would say you're like a city block away from it. It's at the bottom of a hill, so you can see it even though you're that far away. But there is just a dense crowd of people between you and the boat.
All right, I would like to do whatever I need to push my way to the front of the crowd.
Okay, you kind of bully and push your way up through it.
Yeah, I'm like just barking at people to get out of the way.
Hogard, how are you following?
I am just following.
You're kind of like grabbing onto his coattails as you.
I'm just staying close behind, trying to keep up with him.
This is particularly entertaining when you remember that Hogard is a dwarf, and so he comes up to like Wex's waist and has to he gets kind of towed behind. All right. I think that you can easily enough make your way up to the front of the crowd, and there is there's a like police, or yeah, essentially like a police line that is trying to keep the crowd back a little bit from the boat, just so that these sailors who are trying to deal with an emergency don't get flooded with civilians. What do you do?
Is there like a commanding officer or someone with any kind of identifying marks that would look like a leader?
Sure. Let's say there's yeah, I think that there's like one guy who has like probably not captain, but the equivalent lieutenant knots or whatever on his shoulder.
Got you. I'm gonna walk straight up to the dude. I got here as fast as I could, and it just looks ridiculous around here. I know you're feeling really tired. I can go ahead and take your next shift, man.
He's going to say, I'm sorry. Are you a constable? You're not in uniform.
With all this going on, I didn't even have time to pull on my stars and stripes. Were you at a costume party? You're dressed like a pirate. It's been such a long day, and I've been working double duty, and I was undercover for so long. See, I'm still R-ing at the end of my sentences.
This is fantastic. You know you're going to need a persuasion roll for that.
100%.
Nice.
I'm happy to do so.
You're welcome to use spells or whatever as well if they help, but I think we've established in the past that those spells can be a little tricky. Yeah, you know what? That's actually a really dope lie, and so I like it. You pull that off, and he's going to sigh and say, "Wow, thanks, man. I am very happy to be getting out of here," and so he's going to wave to you, and yeah, he's gonna slip into the crowd and make his way off, I think.
Good. I'm going to look at Hogard and go, just follow my lead, little guy. And I'm going to say, now me and my deputy have just gotten here, and this is just rickety. This is in shambles. I'm gonna need for you guys to push that line forward, make sure nobody gets through. It's time for us to investigate. Come on, deputy. And I'm just gonna pull Hogard with me.
Right behind you.
All right, let's fuck it. Sure, they follow your orders and they let you through and hold the line in line. What do you do? There's.
Are there any people on the shore yet? Like, there's some crew that's made it to shore.
Sure, I think there's some who came in first, and some who are helping others, like off of the escape pods, whatever they're called. And then there's another one who is on the dock itself that is trying to do that thing where you pass a rope from the boat over to the dock and then tie it in place so the boat doesn't sail off, which at this point this is a formality at best.
Yeah, okay. I just
boat
want to
isn't
walk up.
going anywhere.
I just want to go straight up to whoever the closest crew member is.
Okay.
And just ask him what the hell they're doing here.
He's gonna say it was a nightmare, man. We got attacked and we just managed to slink away. They took they took all of our treasure, but it seemed like they were really there after the artifact we were transporting. It's and then he kind of looks at you and he's going to say, are you with them? Are you a pirate? What is happening?
No, I'm a police officer today, and I've just been undercover.
You did the persuasion roll before. I think he's gonna say, okay, sir. Yeah, we got attacked. It was weird. It was like this giant squid shape came up from under the water and pushed up alongside our boat. But then people like humans and elves and people came out of the giant squid from surfaced from below the water and then climbed onto the ship and did all this nonsense. And in the commotion there was fire flying. There was one of them summoned a giant beast which broke the hull, and then they took all of our stuff, pulled it towards the squid thing in the water, and then disappeared. Is there anything else you want to know?
I just keep nodding my head as if I'm taking mental notes of everything that he's saying. He hasn't said any of my trigger words, so I'm kind of not really paying attention to him.
Do you want to ask any specific questions?
Yeah, I'd like to know where his captain is. Did the captain make it?
No. He's going to say that the captain was... How do I want to do this? He's going to say that the men who came up were led by a pirate captain in appearance, but weirdly beautiful. He maybe had some elvish blood in him. He had one eye, like an eye patch on one side, and the other eye was bright blue. Do you need to take notes on this? Do you want to be writing this down?
No, I'm good. Thank you. You helped immensely.
He is the description he gives fits very closely with your memory of Euron.
Yeah, very, very, very close.
They said that man murdered the captain when he was the first aboard. He was the first one swinging the blade, killing people, and he was the last one off, and he seemed to be leading the operation.
A one-man storm he was.
A one-man storm?
Yes.
Some would say the Great Storm. Yeah, I definitely need a second to think about this because I want to still help Harshnag, but like that is no longer important to me.
So I respect that. I will say, you can ask around these people as much as you want. All you have to go off of is this like kraken shaped giant squid creature pulled alongside the boat. They took the stuff they need, they got back in the creature, and it went back below the water. Nobody can give you any clue that would imply where they went or
No, like specifically what direction they could have been headed in.
Yeah. No way they would have known because it just went
ship
down.
Was this? Like, what was the cargo?
It was just a merchant. Ooh, you know what? We can make it fit better. It's a merchant ship that is owned by the university that was mostly transporting stuff that the school needs, you know, food and like chemicals for the labs and like you know, just bulk orders of wands and books and stuff like that. But it had one artifact in the hull, and Mikhail, I'm actually going to ask you to come up with what the artifact was. It narratively kind of doesn't matter.
I think I'd like for it to be like a prism, but like
Sure.
light doesn't go through it, it captures light.
Or maybe it like it kind of like inverts light, like when you do the Photoshop like invert color feature.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, that's cool as shit. Yeah, they went straight for that first, took that, and then it seemed like he kind of allowed his crew to take everything else, but it seems like that was the thing they were coming for.
Okay, that's a lot of really good information.
Wex,
Yeah, I want to talk to Hogar for a second.
Hogarth's thinking this might be some kind of inside job. They knew this particular item was on that ship, I think.
Yeah, it's just why the item? We need more information. Does anyone know anything here on the shore about the manifest and like what that item could have been?
Ooh, okay. So yeah, the crew is there. I think as you ask around the crew, somebody's going to be able to point you towards let's say the first mate would be somebody who would know the stuff that was being shipped. And he will tell you it is like it's a deadlight prism. And it's this rare, specific, one-of-a-kind artifact that was excavated out of some ruins, and one of their research teams had excavated it and then was shipping it back to the university for research.
Okay, and does it have any other special or magical properties?
We don't know. It was at the bottom of a temple. It was excavated there, and then we don't know what it was special about it, but it was clearly something that was being protected. And because we are colonialist imperial bastards, we thought it was totally fine to just take their holy relic or whatever and send it back to the university to study. He says exactly that. Sure.
Okay. Yeah. No. I want to thank him very much for his time, and I want to go back up to I got what I needed. I'd probably go back up towards the police line, and just grab one of the first kids that were there, and just let them know like, yo, you're doing a bang up job, but there are some people on the shore that need some medical attention. Make sure they get help.
Okay. Hey, I'm curious because Wex has been a pirate before, but he is also a sailor, when he sees the aftermath of an attack, and he sees like fellow sailors, injured and trying to like salvage the remains of their ship and stuff, is this, like a little bit like upsetting to him?
It's a little heartbreaking, but I would say through like years of sailing and understanding like ship work, something that does something like that to a ship, specifically one of that size, that doesn't happen easily, and it kind of like shakes me up a little bit, which is kind of why I want to get away from it.
Lovely. Okay. Where do you guys go from now? Do you go to the okay.
Hogard would like to say something to Wex.
Mm-hmm.
So Wex, I have an idea, and maybe you're thinking the same thing. We try and get on to the next ship. We go to the university. We talk to them about any kind of special artifacts or news of artifacts they may be shipping, and maybe we sneak onto a ship to see if we see where it goes from there. But first, we need to complete our mission about Harshnag.
Can I make a proposal? Because I like that direction.
Yeah, I'd rather just barter with them, like give us an arm and we'll go retrieve your artifact.
Yeah, something like that. We need to work with the university to come up with a plan.
I mean, they're either going to work with me or they're not.
To give us information about the next shipment and see if we can't sneak on board as part of the crew. And
so one thing I wanted to drop down is you had heard these like rumors as you were approaching of people talking about this happening again. So maybe you would want to investigate like previous occurrences.
Yeah, I definitely would like to know more, since this isn't the first instance, and then I'd like to find out who we need to talk to get on the next boat.
Sure,
we need to barter our way through.
Just so that you guys don't get hung up on the wrong idea, with a preliminary investigation of just like talking to the crowd, you're able to confirm that the boats that have been struck have been from a number of different sources, and it's been like high-end merchants, it's been noble families like shipping family heirlooms, it was the university, it was also their rival university halfway across town, go Badgers. It was it's assorted different ships that were transporting some kind of mysterious artifact or powerful artifact or ancient heirloom or something are the things that have been struck, and it is not exclusively things from this university, so don't get too hung up on the university component of it.
Yeah, no, not at all. It just sounds like, hey, we're collecting the Infinity Stones, try to stop us. So
okay, well, we're going to hop over to the other group and circle back to you guys.
Cool, man.
Do you I think I had at one point given an upper cap on the like range of the Stones of Far Speech, but I kind of find it more entertaining if they're basically just cell phones. Do you want to call the rest of the party and just kind of let them know that you found something interesting?
I think that's a great idea. We could be doing that while we're walking back, I think.
Yeah, I think we would definitely want to share that.
Okay. Does Wex... Because Wex hasn't even communicated this to Hogard or anything. Does...
I thought our group went simultaneously off.
Yeah, he's gonna telephone you.
So so we're not like... I don't know if how that would sync up with time wise. I mean, would we have left and gone on our separate adventure at the same time, or would we have waited to a point where we would have gotten this message while we're still back on the ship?
For communications, or for simplicity's sake, we're gonna say these things are happening in parallel. For whatever reason, maybe it's time that you guys spent investigating the fire stronghold. Just you guys got hung up for a while they were transporting, and now things are synced up. Wex, you might have a personal interest in this case. Do you feel any inclination to communicate that to the rest of the party?
No,
Okay, cool.
none whatsoever.
Loving it.
Yeah,
Great.
no, like this one I'm holding very close to the chest. Like, I need
No, I love it.
Hogard
That's
there,
fantastic.
but yeah, no, can't talk about it.
Okay. Great.
I think Hogard's kind of getting a feeling, a little suspicion, or he's just wondering
What's going on?
if there's
here?
something else going on here. So
No,
That's all.
definitely, and I would like to be giving off that air because since I've been traveling with this group, I've definitely become more lax, and I'm immediately guarded right now, just like clenched from head to toe.
Yeah. Loving it.
that's all I'm saying is Hogard's getting a sense or detecting an air.
Making diamonds.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I love that. All right, guys. We're going to switch over to the other group. Everyone likes that?
All
Everyone
right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are switching to Nesme Town. Thing.
This is your
Map.
captain speaking. Land ho!
Oh, still
Fantastic.
God damn it.
Okay, so everyone should be looking at this this map, and all you guys should be able to see is a little quadrant on the west end of town with the three of you, and let's go ahead and drop Gimbal in there as well. Also, you guys have health bars under your character. They're not very visible
Can
because
we get Nugget too?
sure thing, boss. There we go. Okay. So you guys are approaching the town of Nesme as you saw it from above, and as you might know from maps and stuff. Lunara, are you kind of leading the group scouting?
Yeah.
I imagine that is sort of your role usually when traveling. You're the ranger. I imagine you kind of like scout out ahead and do that thing Aragorn does in Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah, it makes her feel more comfortable.
Sure.
What time of day is it, just for reference?
Let's say it's like 9 a.m.
Awesome.
And hey people, spaces to the west. Is that earlier or later in the day?
Earlier.
Okay, it is 4 o'clock for you guys, and it is about noon for the. No, the world's not that small. You guys aren't that far. Yeah, never mind. We're gonna say it's 9 o'clock for you guys, and it's like 8 o'clock in Neverwinter. A.M. By the way.
Okay.
So you guys are walking towards town. Lunara, can you make not investigate? Is it called notice? Perception?
Perception?
Yeah, make a perception roll for me. Great. You're actually going to have advantage on this.
Ooh.
So as you're walking through the woods, that gives you a 21 on your roll, which is very good. As you're walking through the woods, you get kind of a tingle in the back of your neck. Something seems a little bit off, and you start to notice these like little movements and little signs happening around you, and you think that there's somebody stalking these woods near to you. You haven't been able to see them yet, but there's like the clear signs that like there's somebody else in these woods right now
I
that
want to
doesn't
send.
want you to see them.
I want to send Nugget up higher to look around, see if he can spot him.
Okay. Do you kind of like whisper a command to Nugget and then he flies off?
Yeah, and I also just kind of want to like whisper back to the party that somebody's onto us.
Okay.
Act natural.
Nugget kind of like
That's a
flies
mistake.
up into the treetops and he's like flying between branches and stuff, and then you're just like looking, keeping your eyes open, and then you hear a squawk from Nugget, and you hear a kind of panicked, like, what the fuck? And there is a thump, and there is a thump, and an elf is going to fall to the ground in front of you. What do you do?
I just want to draw my bow on him and be like, "Who are you?"
Okay. You recognize this person.
Oh.
This is a member of your traveling troupe that you grew up with, and this guy is the current the like he's like the chief hunter. And he's going to say like, hey, it's me, hey, I'm blank. Is that Lunara? Let's give this guy a name. What's this guy's name?
Oh, I really want his name to be blank now.
Yeah, no, it's blank.
You know what? Blank is actually a sweet name.
Yeah.
Let's just say it is. Where's your troop?
Oh God, that is an awful. That's too big. Get rid of that. He's gonna say, "You, are you not coming here for us? We're camped out around the town, just beyond the town of Nesme."
No. No.
He's going to reach a hand up, kind of asking you to help him up.
Sahbeik draws his sword.
Okay. Oh,
I'll
by the
help
way,
him up, but then I'll push him away a little bit just to put some space between him and Sahbeik.
Venitus is behind him and he trips him.
Sahbeik, I think that since you lost your sword last game.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that.
No, that's fine. Zephyros, Harshnag is not really in any kind of jovial mood to be helping out buddies right now. Especially because he might feel a certain way towards you. I don't think Harshnag holds a grudge, actually. I don't think he blames you for what happened. But he is just not feeling particularly charitable. Zephyros, however, recognizes that you need a sword in order to do what you need to do. And so he is going to borrow a let's see. He's going to borrow a short sword.
It's funny you say that.
Butter knife is literally. Never mind. We'll circle back to that. He borrows one of Harshnag's, let's say, broadswords. A regular person's broadsword would have a blade that is like 3 feet long. Yeah, so it would have to be a short sword. I think he borrows like a gladius kind of thing that Harshnag would have, which for Harshnag would have a blade about the length of his forearm, and then a handle that's about a third of that. For you, it's going to be triple that, so it's going to be like almost 6 feet long.
Sounds good.
So that's what you have to work with. It's totally unenchanted and unimpressive in every way, but technically so was your last weapon, so it'll have basically similar stats.
Right.
I actually really like the idea that you suffer a -1 to attack with it, just by virtue of it being...
It's not really a great sword. Yeah.
It's not really a great sword. It's the handle is roughly 3 times as wide as you would want a handle to be. So that's a little uncomfortable to hold. And also it's not yours. I think you have for so long used your sword that switching to another thing is I have it in your character sheet as rusty greatsword, which it's not really rusty, but that's fine. Cool. Sure. So, this guy gets up, he stumbles back down again, and then I think he catches on his feet and he brushes himself off. And he's going to say, I think he looks over the rest of you, but he's really going to fixate on Lunara. And he's going to say, hey, Lunara, we haven't seen you in ages. Don't you want to come and talk with your father?
I haven't decided. That being said, it is imperative that you don't tell anybody you saw me.
Oh, interesting.
Venitus is gonna stand behind her as ominously as he can and just like fold out his wings.
Oh, so
Like,
yes,
like
yes.
how birds like get intimidating postures. That's what Venitus is gonna do.
Sure. Now, when you say that, are you implying that he should not tell the other elves?
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
I'm implying I don't want him to tell the truth that he saw me. Like,
okay. He's gonna say like, well, I have to tell your dad. He's the chief.
One sec.
am I able to shadow step?
It's not
You are.
him.
Hey,
Ooh.
hey, Dad. I'm getting a little bit of background noise from you. You can, yeah.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
It's fine. You can put on push to talk if that's easier for you.
No, I'm good now.
Cool. Yeah, buddies. Okay, Venitus, there's enough. You're in the woods, so you can get to a shadowy place, and then you can shadow step to another shadowy place.
I'm just gonna shadow step behind him and be like, "Don't tell anyone," and then shadow step to the other side of him, and be like, "It'll be really bad for you if you do." And then
Okay.
shadow step back behind.
Lunara, you make a persuasion roll, and you will have advantage on it because Venitus is intimidating him.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
23.
an
That's a pretty good roll.
I'm also going to pull my hood up for good measure.
Okay. Let's. Oof. Okay. He's going to say, "That's fine, I guess. I can keep it quiet for a while, but there's other scouts in these woods, and you're gonna get spotted again. What's your plan?"
Can I cast disguise self again yet?
Yeah. You get your spells renew every morning,
Awesome.
and you get 4 slots. That's pretty good. Disguise self lasts an hour. Nice.
I think I'm just going to disguise myself. So, I don't know. I look human, but I'm still going to keep the hood up.
Oh, so you don't look like Lunara. I was wondering how you were going to handle the rest of the team. Okay, he's going to see this and he's going to nod. He's going to say, "All right, stranger, I guess nothing happened here. I'll be on my way then. Hey, good luck."
Oh, and before you go, just how much money you got on you right now?
What? Are you mugging me? Me, your buddy Blank, who taught you how to sneak through the woods? Me, your buddy Blank? Are you mugging me?
Venitus is shadow stepping behind him again and putting one of his claws up to his neck.
No, I'm not mugging you, Blank. Come on, why would I ever do that? I'm simply asking for a friendly donation amongst crew members.
Sahbeik inches closer. Where the hell is Lunara? It's the fugue state. He doesn't understand that she can change shapes and faces. Where the hell is Lunara?
Lunara's gonna reach back and like pat Sahbeik on the shoulder. Like,
Don't touch me, woman. Who are you?
It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Come on. It's okay.
Where the fuck are we?
I love it. Yeah, I guess make a persuasion roll. No advantage on this one. Disadvantage. Get disadvantage on this one because you're trying to get an old friend who you're already asking for a favor from.
Just gonna rob you a little.
Oh, she went from a natural 1 to a natural, or from a natural 20 to a natural 1.
Okay.
Damn.
Extra life.
He's gonna say, no. You know what? Screw you, Lunara. screw you. I thought we were friends. No. And he is going to slip away from you and slip between a couple trees, and he is pretty quickly out of sight.
Good to see you too, Blank. And then I'm like gonna turn back to the group and be like, we go way back. You know. Don't worry about it.
I want the
Elves.
I really like the idea that Blank has definitely like basically mugged Lunara a couple times too. And this is very much him being like, how dare you, ma'am?
That's my endearing character trait.
Yeah. Okay, so Blank is gone. You don't know whether he is going to keep his promise to just hide what he saw or not now. Okay. The town of Nesme is just a little bit to the west. What do you do? To the east, sorry.
I'm gonna keep scouting. What's everyone else feeling like?
Sahbeik's just stomping forward as Sahbeik is wont to do.
That is his MO. Okay, Lunara, make a stealth check for me.
Oh my goodness.
I think the elves in the village would definitely see Sahbeik before they got any trace of Lunara. Just gonna throw that out there.
16? Lunara, what is your perception bonus?
My perception bonus is is that the number next to it? 4?
Yeah. Okay. Oof. So you're slipping between trees, and as you do, can you move? I'm gonna move Lunara a little bit.
Okay.
As you do, you see a familiar sight. You see the main tent that the chieftain would have, and standing just outside of it, talking with his one of his main advisor people, is your father, whose name I have somewhere. And he just at an inconvenient time kind of like looks up to say something to his advisor, and you slip behind a tree, you slip behind a tree just as that is happening. But it looks like he like cocks his head and he starts to stand up and walk towards where you were just at.
Pretend
Do
to
I see
forage.
any of this?
Sahbeik is still stomping forward.
She was scouting ahead, so I think she's a little bit ahead of you guys.
Yeah, I'm like, since I'm disguised, I'm just gonna pretend I'm like foraging, and I don't see him.
How far behind am I?
Like I think you can probably see where she is at and see that she is hiding, but don't necessarily know what's going on. Vilhairos is Lunara's father. Okay. Yeah. So, did you have something you wanted to do, Venitus, when you see her duck behind cover and then quickly start like foraging?
I'm just gonna start yelling, "First mate Scallywag, where did you go?"
Fantastic. Lovely.
By the deadbeat
Great.
gods still.
By the deadbeat gods. Okay. Lunara, like he is there, and then he is just gone. Like you lose sight of him, and then a second later, you just feel a knife pressed against the side of your neck, and he's going to say, "Shit." What's he gonna say?
Am I able to see this?
I think you see this, but I think he's gonna get his cool one-liner out before you can do anything. He's going to say, well, what have we here? What are you doing in these parts?
Let
You're
me
not a
know
citizen
whenever
of this
like
town. You can go.
his one line. Okay, I'm gonna shadow step behind him and do the exact same thing.
Okay. Loving this.
And I'm gonna say, "Let my first mate go, matey."
Lovely. Well, god damn it. I didn't think I would actually need stats for him right away. All right. Please hold. Gotta go get stats. Stats.
I also just want to note that in this time, like, Nugget has flown over and he's just kind of like flying above us and like glaring down.
Can your disguised self have disguised Nugget as a parrot?
Oh man, can I?
I will allow that because Nugget is kind of a part of you. Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Can we make him smaller then?
Not significantly.
Aw.
You can't change his size category. Venitus, make a dexterity save.
Give me a second. It's been a while since I played. It's shift and click. There we go. Dex save.
Son of a bitch. All right. Well, 19 versus an 8, nat 1. Okay. He tries to do a quick like judo kind of like reversal move to get behind you. But you are able to catch his arm before he does that and flip the reversal around. So you're now in the same position you were before, except you now have his arm pinned behind him as well.
Did I not just say to let my first mate go? I'll be having none of that now. You hear?
Oh dear God.
He's going to
Where
grunt
did you pick
and
this up from? No
It's
pirates
not-
sound like this in this world.
it's great.
This is strictly his opinion of pirates.
I love to
Based on
They're
nothing
all
else.
Irish.
this is, wait, hold
What
on.
even
And
is
Lunara's
Irish
just
as
going along with it.
This is very important to me, Venitus. Have you done this act in front of Wex?
No.
Okay, good, because I feel like Wex would find this highly offensive.
That would 100% have been a fight.
Actually, I did kick the door open saying, "Here's your new captain."
Okay.
That was
So he's going to slowly like open his hand so his knife falls to the ground. He's gonna say, "All right, easy, friend."
Requesting a parlay.
I'm gonna grab the knife. just to be
Jesus
safe.
Christ. Okay, he doesn't say Jesus Christ. He says, fantasy Jesus Christ. And he's going to kind of gently, like, in a way that clearly indicates that he is not trying to break your lock. He's going to slowly rotate out of your lock so that he's facing you. Do you
I'll
allow
loosen
that?
my grip.
Okay. He's going to say, "My name is Valhyros." Is that a decent pronunciation, Lunara? Okay.
Yeah.
Valhyros. I am the chieftain of the Lunara. Give me a name for your pack of your tribe, your troop.
Dancing fire.
Fuck yes. Let me go ahead and write this in my notes real fast so I don't lose it. Dancing fire. Troubadour troop. Is that a fair?
Yeah.
It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that'll do. All right, he's going to say, "I am Valhyros, leader of the Dancing Fire Troubadour Troop. We are entertaining in front of this small town here. What can I do for you? What is your what are your intentions in these parts?"
I'm gonna look over at Lunara.
And I think he's going to reposition himself so he can see both of you, and also his assistant person, his like right hand man kind of person has walked up and has his hand on a short sword, but is not doing anything.
I'm gonna look over to Lunara and say, "Go ahead, tell him our business here."
We're just,
I don't want to do this, Bluff.
we're just out here looking for pirate supplies. Why are you so aggressive?
He's going to say, well, shit. Let's see. He's going to say, I'm sorry. We actually have a deal going with the city of Nesme, and they've asked us to keep any uninvited guests out for the time being. They're working on something very significant, and they don't want any distractions. I'll have to ask you to go back where you came from. There's a town just a bit to the west that should be able to serve you.
As he's saying that line, he sees Sahbeik. I would think that he would see Sahbeik getting closer to the town.
I think he sees that. He just kind of like raises a hand and then like lowers it and like, whatever. And he's going to whistle. And Sahbeik, you see a man in this like circus performer garb step out in the road in front of you, and he's going to raise a hand, and that whole thing is going to happen. We'll address that in a second.
I hate jesters.
Lunara, do you have any immediate response to that, or do we go back to Sahbeik's thing?
I think I would just like challenge him. Like, who says we're uninvited?
You're gonna stop strangers in the middle of the woods, accusing us of not being invited?
He's going to say, I have a list, and I'm sorry, what are your names?
It's difficult to spell.
It's secret pirate business. We can't tell you for pirate reasons.
Who's to say we weren't hired to keep strangers out of the town?
I have a list of invited people, and none of them are pirates. So I'm going to say that you are not welcome here. I would kindly ask that you turn back. I mean, certainly, if you want, go ahead. I can bring it up with the mayor, but geez, I wouldn't want there to be any trouble for you.
I mean, we're pirates. I think we're looking for trouble, but we're not going to tell him that.
The only one here who's going to have any trouble here is you. Keep it up. I really like this voice.
Oh God, the worst is this is how we're going to have to live for the rest of the campaign. Okay.
Only when he's wearing the pirate hat.
Okay, so you guys are going to have some passive aggressive banter for a bit. Sahbeik, you're walking towards town. A man in circus garb has stepped out in front of you and put up a hand and said, "I'm sorry, sir. The town is not accepting any guests at this time."
I think Sahbeik would respond with, "Get the fuck out of my way, jester," and just kind of push him out of his way.
Okay.
Not as peaceful as,
okay.
one would expect.
You're going to push him back, and he's gonna stumble a bit as you walk past. Oh gosh, what have I done? Sorry. As you do, you step into town, and immediately as you get around the corner, you're going to see several elves with their bows drawn and focused on you.
Sahbeik smiles.
I think I'm going to go ahead and reveal most of the main section of town, because I think that that'll be a good starting point for us. I'll reveal more of town as you guys get around it. For now, we'll do the kind of like town square.
Gameplay note: what is the name of the person who has the who knows the method of dragon control? Do we know that yet, or
Wilhelm?
Wilhelm, gotcha.
A man by the name of Wilhelm is supposed to be able to help you, and I think that's a good It's a good start. That's
So-
like the town square that I've just revealed now.
Anybody seen that movie Troy? And remember when Achilles approaches the city's gates and starts shouting for Hector?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That's
Do you just start-
happening.
Do you just start?
Wilhelm!
The elves are kind of taken aback for a second, and I think a few of them like step back. One of them, who looks surprisingly similar to Lunara, is going to step out onto the road, and he is actually going to shoulder his bow and pull out a pair of short swords and look like he is ready for a fight. But then from
You
out
look like a
behind
pretty
him,
elf, I know.
very quickly, you see a man in kind of. I think that it is this world's equivalent of like comfort wear. This is the equivalent of like a man that's wearing like, a slightly
Is that guy?
oversized hoodie, and yeah, like a slightly oversized hoodie, and maybe some like comfy jeans or even like some sweatpants or something. He comes jogging out, and he's going to say, Ronan, my friend. Hey, you don't need to do that. Everything's fine here. This is an old friend of mine. I asked him to come meet me here. You can go ask Valhyros about it. He's been okayed. He's the mayor said that he was fine. So you can just let him by. It's fine. And he does a persuasion roll and rolls very good. And so this guy Ronan is going to kind of glare at him for a second, and then glare at Sahbeik, and take a slight step out of your way.
Good choice.
How much of this do we see, or do we not see it through the tree line?
It depends. So you wouldn't be able to see through the tree line. I think you might have heard him shouting, Wilhelm. It depends on how long you're going to spend passive aggressively bantering with.
So when we hear him start yelling, Venitus is going to be like, "If you'd excuse me, that there be my second."
Great.
And then I'm going to start running towards Sahbeik. I'm like, get your arse back here, Sahbeik. And right when I'm in the middle of yelling that, a tree branch catches my hat and throw my hat.
Oh no! Oh jeez! Oh jeepers!
Silence
Great.
yourself, bird. Jesus. I mean, by the gods.
Fantasy Jesus.
Exactly.
Okay, Sahbeik, what is your reaction to this?
Well, Sahbeik would just be kind of smirking at Ronan is his name.
Yep.
I think, and I definitely think Ronan would have caught the remark that I made about he looks like a pretty elf. Sahbeik knows.
Yeah. So he might take that.
Delivered with the same intensity as Deliverance-esque. You got a purty mouth. That kind of thing.
Great, lovely.
So he would approach this comfort wear wearing NPC.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would just grumble the word Wilhelm.
The man is going to nod and say, "That's me. Hey, Wilhelm, at your service." And he's going to reach a hand out to shake.
Sahbeik doesn't shake his hand back, but would say, "You know things that I need to know. We need to go somewhere and talk."
He's gonna hold his hand out there for a second, and then he's gonna slowly pull it back and say, "All right, you're not a shaker. That's fine, buddy. Hey, this is fine. Look, why don't you come back to my house with me? We can talk."
The others. They
Others?
should be
Oh,
allowed
hey,
in here
you're.
too.
Oh, Great, lovely. Hey,
Yeah.
he's gonna lean in close and he's gonna say, "Hey, I don't actually have any authority to let people into town. They don't want to be very upfront about it, but they kind of like have this town. We're kind of prisoners in here. They kind of have this town locked down, and no one's allowed to leave, and no one's really supposed to enter either. But I kind of just bluffed your way in, and we're gonna have to deal with that in like half an hour. So sure, just yeah, you know what? I'm sure this is fine. This will be fine. Don't worry about it. This is definitely gonna be fine.
One
Just get
problem
your
at a
friends.
time,
Uh-huh.
fancy man.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. What's your name?
I thought that you knew who I was. You said that I was
No.
invited.
I have no idea who you are. I'm just excited to have a
Ah.
guest.
Good. Again, we need to go somewhere and talk. There's not going to be any words out here in front of all these elves' eyes.
Okay, all right, mysterious dark stranger. I like it. All right. I was not expecting this to be this man's voice, and I am fucking loving it.
It's a good voice. It's a good voice.
It reminds me a lot of Marvel Spider-Man. Oh, okay, Mr. Stark.
Yeah.
It's fine. This is fine. All right, give me the rundown of how you guys collect the party. You can do the Cliff Notes version.
I think that Sahbeik would slightly walk back while keeping eyes locked with that elf the whole time and just kind of motion towards Lunara and Venitus, but still staring directly at that elf sort of as like a challenge, as like, say something.
Yeah.
Please do something. I want
Lunara, do you excavate yourself from the conversation with your father to follow Venitus when he runs off?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, well, it looks like my friend's got entrance into the town after all, so I'll just be taking my leave.
Okay. Valhyros raises a hand and scowls for a second, and then he's going to go and talk with his second in command, while you guys, and I'm including Gimbal in this list. Gimbal's gone. All right.
I see Gimbal.
No. Gimbal is not on the chat.
Oh.
Sorry,
You missed
Gimbal
my
has a
pirate
human,
voice.
and his name is Morgan. So you guys come into town. Lunara, as you enter town, you immediately recognize this guy at the front, who's usually the guy that kind of works like the ticket line kind of thing when you guys would put on shows. And then you recognize your older brother Ronan right next to him, kind of glaring at Sahbeik. I imagine this is pretty kind of alarming to you for a second until you remember that you're wearing a different face. And so he sees you and he glares at you, but he does not seem to recognize you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna like...
I can barely hear you.
I think she forgot to unmute her mic.
Yeah, I think I was hearing you through Zai's mic.
My bad. I think I would like falter for half a second, but then just be like, oh wait, I've got the wrong face on, so we're cool.
I'm gonna tap Lunara on the shoulder. Hey, does my hat look okay? Wex put it on the first time. I just want to make sure I did it right.
I'm gonna like straighten out his hat so it looks like perfect in piety.
Oh, thank you, matey.
You monster, Lunara. Okay. So do you guys all kind of gang up around Wilhelm as he leads you off into the distance? As he leads you into town?
Yeah, I think that would make sense to stick close to him because Sahbeik is still in the whole mode of not trusting anything around him.
Okay. Wilhelm is going to lead you guys to the southeast of town, and I'm gonna reveal a little bit more of town as we go. He is leading you towards this
Delita. Sorry, go ahead.
That is not Delita.
That is totally Delita.
Which person?
From Final Fantasy Tactics, right here.
No, that's not Delita. It is from Final Fantasy Tactics.
Or is that Mustadio?
He is the son of Thunder God Sid. He is a fairly significant plot character, but he only joins your party for one battle as a guest character.
Yeah, that's
he has the Olan. Thank you,
Olan.
God, that would have
Okay.
driven me insane.
God, that looks just like Delita's model, though.
They're very. I will say, many models in that game look similar.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so Okay, so we'll reveal kind of the southern half of town there as we go too. And you know what? I'm just gonna kind of reveal the whole outline of town. There's still gonna be a lot of countryside around town that you guys won't necessarily get to see right away. I don't know if it will ever come up. I might show it to you after the game if it doesn't. But okay. So you've got the town to the north. You know what? You guys will figure out the buildings as it comes up organically. So he is leading you to this southeastmost small little house. There's a teenage girl standing outside, kind of looking around nervously. And Wilhelm is he's doing the thing where he is, he's panicked, but he's trying to not look panicked. So there's that kind of like rushed walking thing going on. And he's going to say, "Hi, everybody, this is my daughter." Have I used Selena as a name for anyone yet in this campaign?
I don't think so.
This is my daughter, Selena. Fuck, I'm writing down names on these. Selena, Selena. Okay. I'm writing down names as I do these characters. Otherwise, I will absolutely lose them. Okay, and Selena is going to say, "Oh, okay, we have guests. Cool." And her dad is going to rush you guys into his house. Let's see. We'll use this house for him. Reveal area. Sloop doop de whoop. And so the whole lot of you are going to come inside. Lunara, what is happening with Nugget? I will say Nugget would be awkward getting him into this building.
Yeah, I don't want to bring him in. I want to tell Nugget to stay outside and just kind of keep a lookout. And if
Do you want him to perch? Do you want him to perch on top of the chimney?
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to tell him to squawk if he sees any elves coming.
Great.
He's
All right.
back.
Oh,
I am back, and I apologize. I'm home.
cool.
Not with the other people.
Gimbal, you're gonna love this. What was the last thing you remember?
Oh man, not much. It was really distracting.
Okay.
I apologize.
Well, you are currently in the town of Nesme, and I actually really like the idea that Gimbal was kind of just distracted for a second there, and you know what it was? He was talking to Venitus, and he did that thing where he was trying to remember this good anecdote, but it was just just on the tip of his tongue. He couldn't quite remember it, and he was sitting there for like 20 minutes going, well, what was it? And just kind of following past it absently as everyone else is walking around, getting into these tense showdowns and all this stuff. And then he goes like, it was my Aunt Susan. And that happens as you guys are entering this. So everybody, you are currently in the like southernmost part of the map, in a building. And this is presumably Wilhelm's house. We'll assume that there's like a second floor with bedrooms and stuff. For now, it's kind of cramped. There is a table, and you know what? I just used a pre-built room. Here's what's in this room that is other than like a normal house. There is a long couch on it, and there is a big comfy chair a part across from the couch. And the couch itself looks like if Lazy Boy made a couch, this would be the couch they made. It looks very comfortable. And he's going to say, "Hey, have a seat if you want. So, like I said, my name is Wilhelm. This is my daughter Selena, and you are?"
Sahbeik walks right over to that couch or wherever it may be and just like completely dominates it, like man spreading all over the place.
Fuck yeah. Doing the thing where you kind of spread your arms over one arm of the couch and your legs over the other one.
Yeah, kinda. But like more forward facing, but yeah.
Yeah. What's up? What's up, Venitus?
So when we got a ship, did we ever talk about like what our pirate name would be? Because that totally, I feel like, should have come up in conversation.
No,
I don't think so.
I think that has to be a group decision that happens the next time you guys are on your ship. Okay, so Sahbeik, you've man spread the couch. Anybody else jump in at any point if you have something to say or any questions to ask or whatever.
Because I was definitely going to follow that up with a comment. But,
what do you say?
I'll wait. Do you know what I am?
He's going to say, "Well, you are a stranger who came into my town and was shouting my name. So
I'm gonna interrupt him, and we be pirates."
Great.
No, sorry.
Great. You
We're
know
not
what?
Fucking pirates.
You know what? Actually, I think I know. Were you guys sent here? Was there somebody who recommended me to you? Is it your friend here? What's your name, sir? Captain?
Me name be Venitus, and I'm gonna take my
Great.
hat off to introduce myself. It's nice to meet you.
He's going to nod knowingly, and he's going to nod knowingly. He's going to say, I see what is happening. Venitus, it is very good to meet you. I'm Wilhelm. Why don't you have a seat here in this comfortable chair?" And then he's gonna walk over to Lunara and he's gonna say, "Don't worry, I've seen lots of patients like him. We'll be able to help your friend."
Lunara's just gonna be like, it's fine. It's fine. We're not here for treatment.
All right, Sahbeik, continue your thing.
While that was going on, Sahbeik took out a bottle of weak dragon's blood and drank it.
Okay. Go ahead,
gets
do
the
it.
guy's attention again. I did it already. I got the fire dragon and I got wings.
Fuck yes.
You guys
All right,
really
so
need to put
destroy
a
this
bell on him
couch?
when he's doing that.
Yeah.
So
So at that
big
point, he
wing-
would say, "Do you know what I am now?"
Okay, let me go ahead and do this because this is too good to not. Okay. You are man spread on the couch with now your wings taking up the whole rest of the couch. And Wilhelm is going to help Venitus down into the seat and then look back at you and he's going to say, of course. No one ever recommends me patients who just need legitimate help for psychological issues. It's not like I have a doctorate for a goddamn reason. Fine.
I'm just gonna
I
whisper
just got
over to
flashes of fucking Robert Picardo's the Doctor from Star Trek Voyager. All right?
I'm gonna lean over to Sahbeik and be like, "Man, what's this guy's deal, dude?"
Let's see. Is he a podiatrist? Give me a second to grab a good one.
Aunt Susan had ginger.
What?
What?
It's the anecdote.
Oh.
That was the anecdote he was waiting on. Lovely. Okay. Then I think that Wilhelm is going to walk over towards you, and then he's going to sigh, and there's like a flexing motion he does, and as he flexes, his body expands, and quickly takes on the appearance of a green dragon that is taking up a good portion of the room, and then it's like he finishes flexing and like comes back in, and just as fast he is a human again.
Venus is like, whoa!
Worm, how did I not
he, like,
know?
rolls out of his chair.
He's going to sigh, and he's going to rub his temples, and he's going to say, all right. I'm going to need your whole story. Everybody who comes here has a different origin and comes from a different place. Were you all right. Starting question. Are you a human who was changed, or were you like this from birth?
What did I look like when I walked in here, beast? I am a man.
Well,
I am a man that has had this done to him.
Okay, he rubs his temple. He's gonna say, yes, lots of us can look like people even if we are born this way. It's all right.
Okay.
All right. You were born a man. Something happened to you, and you changed. Do you know what the specifics were?
Bedside manner leaves something to be desired, but go on.
There was a magic user. He took me from... I don't remember. He took me and did this.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's something inside of me that I can't control.
Okay. And right at about this point, there is a knocking on the door, and Wilhelm and Selena both like turn immediately and look at the door.
Putting my hat back on.
Counter? I just want to jump behind this counter and be at the ready.
I'm gonna put my hat back on and like shove my way past them and kick open the door.
Don't. Oh shit! Fuck.
Oh,
He
God.
says that. Okay. All right.
Oh no.
Wow, that took
All right,
a turn.
let's do this thing. Ronan walks in the door, and
So did I kick the door in, or did I kick open the door?
Sorry, you kick open the door. Ronan is a bit behind it, and I think he is kind of he's stumbling backwards.
Who goes there?
Venitus, for the love of the gods!
Hey guys, I want to be a pirate too.
Not Gimbal too. Oh my God.
But Gimbal, Wax only gave me one hat.
I don't need a hat, I have a hood.
You're a barbarian, not a pirate.
Black hood.
We have something to deal with.
Gimbal, Black Hand, everybody.
This is so
Okay.
bad.
Turns
Okay.
his fist into
Okay.
a giant bony thing on his arm. He morphs a little bit into a weapon you can't really distinguish.
Okay. As this is happening, Wilhelm is gonna slip between you guys and then slip between Venitus and Ronan. Click.
Nice.
And he is going to very conspicuously try to, like, he's going to be right in Ronan's field of vision, kind of cutting most of you guys off, and he's like almost on his tippy toes a bit, like taking as much of this guy's field of view as he can. He's going to say, Ronan, my friend, what can I help you with? Banter, 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 banter. As this is happening, his daughter Selena runs over to the counter and is waving for you guys to follow. She's going to jump behind the counter, slap a button on the cash register, and a trap door is going to open that looks down into a tunnel, and she's waving for you guys to go. What do you do?
Are we running away right now?
First off, do I see any of this happening? Because last I remember, I kicked open a door and confronted an elf.
A guy slipped in front of you and is kind of like nudging you backwards.
Get out of my way, little man. I'll have words with the white-haired elf.
Okay, you know what? This is happening. how many people are going to take Selena's tunnel suggestion?
Selena, I apologize. You're a very nice girl, but we have to kick these guys' asses.
Oh God!
No, we don't. We can't kick these guys' asses for reasons I can't explain right now.
I think for narrative's sake, we should go along with Selena. Yeah, I mean, because trust me, like I'd be the first to be like, no, let's fuck these guys up. But I think Lunara would get us out of there, considering that this guy is her brother.
Okay.
So, Sahbeik, I'm gonna go ahead and suggest, like, when you're about to walk behind, like, right before you get on the trapdoor, you just like grab Venitus by the scruff of his neck and pull him back over the counter.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sure, I can do
That's
that.
Hey, let me go! Ow! You're hurting me, Sahbeik!
Stop it! God, stop struggling.
Great. I love this. This is good energy. You guys copy. You guys go down the tunnel a little bit, and the tunnel continues down into a hallway, but Selena actually, as she reaches a point in the wall, is going to her finger starts glowing, and she's going to trace a rune circle onto the wall, and as she does, the wall starts glowing like a portal kind of thing, and she is going to slip through it. What do you guys do?
I think, yeah,
definitely follow her. Sahbeik's reasoning is this is the worm's daughter,
Ask me
so
to come behind you.
Like I think Lunara is like pushing people into the portal at this point.
Great. Okay. Well, that changed the circumstances on this a little bit. So I'm loving how this game is going. This is not what I was expecting. Okay, and we're gonna reveal area. Sloop. Okay, and we're moving over to the next map over. You guys appear inside of a room whose walls look like they are made of some kind of mechanical crystal, maybe. The floor is made of this like dark brown kind of obsidian-like glass that seems to be glowing from beneath in its cracks, and as you see in other parts of the room, there is a like glowing substance that seems to be under the floor in parts where the floor is cut away. And as you guys all get through, Selena is going to step forward a bit, and she's going to sigh and say, "Fantasy Jesus, that was close." Oh God. Okay.
I'm gonna be like, sorry. It's just whenever I put this hat on and I go to put the hat on my head, I kind of lose control of myself.
No,
Where
that's
the
fine. That's
hell
fine.
are we?
Yeah. Don't. We'll get to that. Christ, Dad is going to have a lot of explaining to do. Oh, do you know how much easier this would have been if you had just kept the door closed and gone through the portal before they saw you?
Calm down, lady. We
there was no
pirate
portal.
rules.
Listen, lady, we're pirates, all right?
Listen
No,
to me,
that's-
deckhand there.
That's fine. We don't
somebody
worry.
fix me! Where is Wilhelm?
He's coming. Scheisse. And actually, you know what I think
Name for a
happens?
dragon, anyways.
I think as she says he's coming, she kind of expands out into this big red dragon for just a second as she like snaps at you, and then she like shakes her head like she's getting control of herself and reverts back to
Another
human form really
goddamn
fast.
worm. What is wrong with me? I can't tell anymore.
It's fine. Okay. This is fine. Dad will take care of the weird elf men who are freaking haunting our town. He'll help you we're gonna have to just lay low in here. Normally, I try to stay on the surface as much as possible, and we only use this room to come visit and for consultations. But right now, I think we'll just have to wait for Dad to come back and tell us when it's safe to go back up. All right. Where do you want me to start?
Before any of that, I just want to ask, Chrono Trigger, one of the final levels?
I don't. Close to the end. This is the Ocean Palace. So
I was
yeah,
about to
pretty.
say Ocean Palace.
But I
or
got the game
Sun
right. It is
Temple.
Chrono Trigger?
Yeah, it's
Chrono
totally
Trigger. Yes.
Yeah, I thought I recognized it. Word. I feel like I've been talking a lot first, so I want to wait for somebody else.
Does anybody else have any questions
I mean,
or anything they want to know or whatever?
I feel like right now it's Sahbeik's time to shine. Like, this is a dragon talking to us.
Not. Do you think that I like the idea that that happened in person? It was like Sahbeik kind of gave them the opportunity to interject anything, and Venitus is like, "No, man, this is a dragon."
I told you, buddy. Yeah, ask your questions as you need.
And when she hears that, she's gonna say, "No, I'm not really a dragon. I'm what they call dragonborn. It's the same as my father. It means that we were humans, or rather, he was a human who was bonded with a dragon, and I am his daughter. It's a little weird. I think my dragon is technically the child of his dragon, but astral dragon propagation is a little bit of I don't fully understand that side of their
astral
biology.
dragons. Astral dragon propagation. Do you know what I am?
We'll circle back on that. Look, my dad is really much better at this than I am. Okay. If you were born human and you now can turn into a dragon, what I'm guessing is that you probably had a well, there's a few different variations of it that can happen. Is it one specific dragon you always turn into, or does it kind of change from time to time?
It changes.
Right. So that means you don't have a physical dragon that you've been changed associated magic. You don't have a physical dragon that magic. You have a kind of conceptual extra dimensional dragon that is associated. What? I'm gonna let my dad explain it. He does better than I do.
Playing patty cake.
Love it. The important thing is it means my dad had something kind of like that, and he was able to this, and she kind of gestures at herself, control it. So he can probably help you. I mean, it's never a guaranteed thing, but he's good at that. So, I think that was question number 1.
We need to get him here.
Listen, we've got all the time in the world. He needs to lay low a bit, because right now, the elves outside don't know this or either of the 2 other cities exist, and we really want to keep it that way.
Well,
So,
you know, let me ask you something, little worm girl. Have you ever met a real dragon? A real, physical, in this world dragon?
she's gonna scratch her head and say, "Well, I don't leave town a lot, you see. And look, I don't need you judging me, all right? I'm 12. I'm basically a grown-up."
Oh my god,
I'm
this
not
is a
even
literal
going to
child,
respond
you
to
guys.
that. But understand this. There's a dragon looking for me. There is a dragon that I am also looking for. It's a mutual thing. We have a history together. And we don't have all the time in the world.
Really mutual.
Venitus! I swear to the gods.
Well, he's not
Okay,
wrong.
she is absolutely giggling right now.
So as
Go
you
on.
see, we don't have all the time in the world.
Look.
It be of the utmost importance.
No.
Lunara! Betrayed by all corners I am. No, I'm doing it.
Oh,
yes.
this is the best. This is the best game ever.
We're a true band of merry pirates.
Okay.
Wait, what's a pirate?
That's Yosh, matey.
Okay.
Why are you talking like that?
All right.
You sound Irish. What's Irish?
She is she's going to lay in her hands forward and say, all right, look, I know this feels like the end of the world, but really, you just have to be patient. All things in their time, or whatever it is that the grown-ups say. We'll help you, but right now, he has to deal with the upstairs business first. A business which, I will remind you, wouldn't have to be a complicated issue if someone hadn't opened the door.
Is she looking
Honey,
at me?
I think you need to drink some pumpkin
Venitus, that's
spice
all you.
ale and calm down.
Sahbeik glares at Venitus at that mention of that.
I'm not
She's
gonna
gonna-
having no strangers interrupting our conversations, and I throw my hat on the ground. We just wanted to have a talk.
Just goes back
She's
to his
going
normal
She's
action.
going to kind of lean over to the closest person, which in this case is Sahbeik, and she's going to say, no, for real though, I actually think my dad can help him. We've seen patients like him before.
We would greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Can I hear that?
No. I mean, make a perception check.
Note that's the only time Sahbeik has ever said thank you this entire time.
I love it.
Oh, god damn it.
You didn't hear shit. This 12-year-old just punked you. Okay. She's going to say, all right, fine. Okay. Then, next thing. We might be down here for a while we wait for Dad to clean up your mess and lay low. Would you like a tour of the Astral Nesme?
Of the spooky
Yes,
machine
please.
land? Yeah,
Does
sure.
the Ashland
whatever.
Nesme have any cash in it?
Tell me, girl.
No.
What is upstairs?
Hmm?
What is your dad fighting upstairs?
Gimbal,
I
we
mean,
just
there's-
came from there.
There's like elves that are kind of barricading our city and not letting anyone enter or leave. And I think he's in trouble for basically like sneaking you guys in, and like that's definitely a thing that we're gonna have to deal with. Not
wait.
worried.
Speaking of Lunara, what's with the pretty elf boy? Who is that to you?
You know.
What is that you're doing? That squeaking and moving of your arms? I don't understand.
Yeah,
Like the
I'm gonna
adult
I'm gonna start like pick my hat up, dust it off, be like, yeah, I mean, you started to act a little strange once he came around.
Fuck you. God damn it.
He's so I know that you guys met like one of my brothers the other day, so I have another brother and it's like a long story and
Your
like
parents got busy,
we're kinda
didn't they?
Are all elves your brothers?
So
Reed, I'm being
actually,
really racist
funny
right
side
now.
note,
Really,
Ronan
really
was
racist.
not supposed to be an elf.
Oh, really?
Yes, Ronan was
Ronan is your human older brother.
Ronan, yes.
Oh, okay.
We will have to retcon that and add in. I like the idea of you having a human older brother. Ronan is solidly the elf guy now.
Okay, I'll just refer to
Yeah,
him
no,
as a
it's
soft
fine.
boy
I'm
then.
fine with like making them both elves at this point. Just
I
because
think-
I
you
really
know what?
love like how
Here's-
it worked out.
Here's what it is. I think that because you stayed with your elf family significantly longer than you did with your human family, I think Lunar has at least one human sibling, maybe multiple human siblings, but she doesn't really remember them. she like remembers that they exist, but she doesn't like know their names or anything off the top of her head because she grew up with just her elf family.
Okay,
Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
So that means Ronan's still like an elf then?
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, so it was a long story. We're kind of doing Sahbeik's thing right now, so like, it's cool.
I'm
Don't
the one
worry
that
about
asked you.
I'm gonna walk over to Lunara, and I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, if you need anyone to talk to, feel free. I know this hat makes me a little intimidating, but I'm still there for you."
I'll
Okay.
keep it in mind if I need to have me a heart-to-heart.
Goes to give her another high five.
What the hell was that?
Okay.
Sorry, mine's not as good as Cody's, but I'm trying.
So,
Oh, that was you?
did you guys have any questions you wanted to go with?
No, I'm still kind of just stuck on Wilhelm, what a Dragonborn is, and what I am. That's why I was just like, if anybody else has any questions, otherwise we can walk around this place and try to figure out where we're waiting until he gets back.
So I really was not expecting you guys to end up here this fast. But you kind of forced her hand, and she had to find somewhere for you guys to hide. Yeah, there's no particular like right or wrong way to go about this. Let's just reveal the whole thing. So we've got the town air quotes here. As she walks you around, she's going to kind of explain that this is a place for astral creatures. That is, creatures like ghosts and angels and demons and like the like capital S supernatural entities. Like entities that would be on the show Supernatural. This is the part of town that they can hide out in and live their lives. And she's gonna kind of catch herself, and she's gonna say, "You don't even know Nesme's whole deal, do you?"
Oh my god, like
Whoa.
break it down for us.
That's weird.
We just arrived in town today.
She's gonna like put her hands up like, no, that's fine. I was just it's weird. I mean, I don't often speak to people that whatever. So welcome to Nesme. This is on the surface, we try to look like any old rural, out-of-the-way backwater town, and basically do everything we can to avoid notice. In reality, Nesme is kind of an outcasts town for people who don't really fit in other places, and a lot of people who some of society might call monsters.
I slap Sahbeik on the back.
Yeah, like like me and my dad, but also like you're gonna meet a guy in a second who's like a ghost, kind of. And we have a guy here who is I think he might be a fallen angel. They call themselves Celestials. My dad I mean,
what is this celestial you speak of?
And
this
then
sounds like a god. Sahbeik is interested.
No, he's not a god. If anything, he maybe was once a servant of God. I mean, you can talk to him yourself. So then there's a guy here who's I mean, technically a tiefling, like a person of demonic influence. So that's this sub-city, Astral Nesme. And then actually under the well, if you swim down in there a little bit, I haven't been down there because my water dragon form isn't really adapted yet. But there's a subterranean submerged water city down there where like we've got a couple mermaids who live there. We have a water elemental named Greg. We've got just like whatever, like water creatures. And then under the smithy, there is a like very hot like fire city. I haven't been in there because I've got my fire dragon down real good, like you just saw. And so I've gone in there a couple times and visited them, just to, like, get to know the other people in town. So there's, do you know what an ifrit is? Like, it's like a person that's really hot, not like Tony, like fiery. And there's
Sahbeik knows exactly
fire
what that
golem
is.
down there and all that.
The religion of his people.
Oh,
they see them
very
as
good.
devils.
Great, lovely, sweet.
Yeah.
So that's the gist. Is Nesme is the town where people who can't exist in the rest of society comfortably come and can kind of lay low and either live in their own distinct cities while still having a connection with a greater society, which means that like people like her Iasimar friend, her angel friend, celestial friend, who can no longer exist in his home plane because he's been banished, and also can't really exist comfortably in most towns because there's this like really weird fetishization essentially of like who he is. He can come here and he can know other people who are kind of similar to him.
Ooh, girl.
And he can also have friends with just the other humans on the surface, or not humans, the beings who live on the surface, and with the other beings who live in this town. And some beings can travel between the different subtowns, and it's just a way for these different like outcasts to have a community together.
Lunara would like to inquire how their town basically came to be under siege by a performance troupe.
Yeah, I would love to know that as well. They
acted
they're
scary
really
enough.
They're really keeping it under their hat. First of all, they're trying real hard to go with the whole like, oh, we're just here like watching out for you, like trying to keep things. I think they have some kind of deal going with the mayor, like he's Mayor D'Antoni's like a good guy. I don't know. I can't imagine that he's in on it, but maybe he's just working with them to maintain the peace or something. Yeah, I don't know. They, for some reason, they really don't want people from Nesme to be in contact with the outside world.
Did you ever think that maybe it's because half of you seem to be dragons?
No, listen. Only 2 of us are dragons. 3 if you include the new stranger.
It sounds like you all kind of got your own things going on.
No, we do. Like, listen.
Sahbeik stretches back a bit and allows his wing to just clip the head off Venitus's head.
Okay, not cool, Sahbeik. Seriously, I had a thing going.
Like, and the whole time, like, Venitus is just arguing with Sahbeik, like, Lunara is picking the hat back up and just putting it back on his head.
I didn't realize we were trying out for the performance troupe.
Listen here, we're not trying it. And the hat goes on my head. Trying out for anything. This is just my voice. This is how I talk.
Right. Okay. So that's the whole deal with Nesme. She doesn't know why your family's troop is basically holding this town under siege. That's probably a good question to figure out. I don't think there's anything else. Okay. So we've got this town here. She warns you to be careful, not fall into the white stuff. Or the glowing yellow liquid light thing. You don't actually die if you fall into it or anything. You just kind of come out of the ceiling above, and she points up, and you see the same light is in the same pattern on the ceiling. But you're gonna fall. What's that? 15 feet, and then if you miss and you fall into the light again, pretty quickly you're dead. So just don't.
I'm jumping in it.
Sloop, and you come back down from the ceiling. She's gonna say, "Yeah, well, you are probably fine. In general, mortals, try not to fall into the light. Something about the way their brains work. This is apparently the way that cities in the astral plane are designed, and they are just more comfortable this way. They don't like straight lines so much. They like these kind of weird geometric organic shapes. You just kind of gotta wander around and pick a room, and then just kind of wander until you get there. And she's going to walk you around the various rooms. Each of these rooms is going to be kind of like the foyer to a house that you don't really see, with the exception of these two that have double exits. So the two with blue stones in their middle. And those two are kind of like shared spaces. They are... You can think of them as kind of the equivalent of like a coffee shop, except that most astral beings don't need to consume materials. So, I mean, I kind of think they just go there to read or whatever. I don't spend a ton of time down here, honestly. Not as much as I should. That is probably where Dad is going to be doing his sessions with you. She's going to look over at Venitus, and she's going to say he's going to do his sessions with you upstairs on the couch.
I'll
What
go
kind of
there
sessions
and
is
wait.
she talking about?
Don't worry about it. That kind of sessions.
Can I go in that
wrong
area
with
now?
my pirate friend? Stop
What area?
judging him.
The place where Wilhelm will be dealing.
I mean, yeah, so it's either of these rooms with the blue thing. You're welcome to walk over there. You got to kind of figure out how Sahbeik gets around the maze to get there.
There's a door right here.
No, there is. The one to the right is pretty easy to get to.
Yeah.
And as she visits you to the various other rooms, she's going to introduce some NPCs who I don't have names for or sprites picked out for yet, because I didn't think you would be here this game. But there's a celestial, there's a couple demons, there's a ghost. They probably have assorted other... No, I think that 4 is probably a reasonable population for this sub-town.
So clarify, this sub-town is in the astral plane.
It is in the astral plane, yes.
We are in the... Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. I'm just wondering if that astral dragon that I'm connected to has any ability to get to where we are.
Right.
Because Because considering what I did to his soul, he might be a little bit pissed off.
So you feel the presence of your astral dragon. I think that probably the easiest depiction of this is when you first entered this region, your wings felt more powerful. They felt more. I think it's almost like you had taken a strong dragon's blood, but still isolated to just your wings. It's like your connection with your dragon is significantly stronger in here.
Gotcha.
And you can kind of I think that now that you are seeing it, you kind of realize that all along you've felt this like thing inside of you. It's more of like an emotion than a physical sensation of like a connection to something else, and right now you can feel that connection is just like pounding against you. Like it's if it was an emotion, it is now like an overwhelming emotion, and that is something that we will circle around to next game, I think. So
Word.
Right now, I think my goals for the next few games are Sahbeik figures out. Sahbeik is gonna see a therapist.
On the couch.
Yep. So the other people here are going to you guys are going to have to kind of figure out what is up with Nesme, and also figure out how to get into the fire giant stronghold.
I do believe it's time for us to kick these bandits out of this village.
And then in a different part of the world, Hogard and Wex are going to convince the people at the university to make a mechanical arm for Harshnag, and also investigate this pirate attack they heard about.
Yeah, we be hearing about the pirates.
That's true.
Yes, you do, Boyle.
I have a question about them procuring the arm. Since you said that like giants are kind of like a public enemy, like do you think there's going to be any like raised eyebrows when they're like, so by the way, the dimensions for this arm, it's going to be pretty big?
We're thinking about maybe like a 7-foot long arm. Yeah, that's something to consider. They're also going to I will say, if they get an arm and they just have this like hunk of metal machinery that they're hauling around with them, that doesn't necessarily mean that they know what to do between that and just a physical body. So they're probably gonna have to get an expert to help them.
That shouldn't be a problem.
That was ominous. So I feel a little bit bad that that we didn't get back to the university team this game, but I think that shit popped off in Nesme way faster than I was expecting. Can I tell you the way I thought this game was gonna go is Lunara meets her elf buddy. Lunara goes and has a conversation with her father. The group is allowed to enter the city, and the group slowly convinces Wilhelm that they're trustworthy and that he should help them out.
Oh, you see how that happened?
Yeah, no,
that
that's not the Sahbeik way.
Differently than expected, and you know what? I'm not complaining.
I mean, hey, he gets results.
It kind of rocked.
I've discovered Venitus has a new personality when he has that hat on.
That's the other thing that we learned this game. Yeah. So I don't know if they will ever if you guys will ever get a chance to visit them, and if you do, I don't think this will be a spoiler, but since you guys have already learned that there is a aquatic Nesme and a flaming Nesme, can I show you guys the maps I made for them? Because I'm like very proud of these maps.
Yeah.
Yeah, please do.
All right. Do I have Fog of War turned on?
Yes.
Disabled. Okay. So on the left we have aquatic Nesme. On the right we have flaming Nesme. Aquatic Nesme. You come down from the well and you appear up here, just like at the top, and then it is literally like you fall through this hole to get to this town. Like they're like 2 layers stacked on top of each other, and you swim up and down between them. And then there's this other section that's kind of, I feel like it should actually be like either on the, it's probably in the middle between the two. Yeah. I just like the idea of this vertical city that you swim up and down through, and then in order to get back up to the top, you swim up through the well. And then this is Ignitius Nesme. And yeah, you the furnace kind of lets out into this room. And then yeah, the whole thing is basically on the inside of a volcano. It's very hot. I don't know. I just thought that these were these were very cool Photoshop effects. I was very proud of them. Okay. Yep. So we are going to go back to Astral Nesme, and everyone is good with this. This is a good stopping point for the game.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, no, that really is. Thanks.
So we have a lot to do next game, and I don't know about you guys, I'm pretty excited for this level. I think that this is going to be a nice change of pace from exploring an abandoned temple and then like tense political negotiations, and now it's just kind of a lot of different things at once, but I think it'll be a bit more relaxed. Yep.
Good.
Awesome.
And I'm fine that we didn't do a lot of stuff at the university. I'm going to think of some stuff that Hogard might want to do.
I think we'll try to do more. I think we'll do more of that next week. Okay, guys. Then I will. Yeah, we'll wrap it up here.
Cool.
Alrighty.
Right. Mikhail.
Good game, y'all.
Mikhail,
Like a plan.
tell me you got this recorded.
Absolutely. You know I did.
Hell
Good
yeah.
man.
Oh, great.
Very good game,
man.
guys. Thank you
Have
so
a good
much.
weekend, y'all.
All right, guys.
Enjoy.
Yes.
I'll see y'all later.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.